What the?
What are you doing?
Oh my god.
I don't even know what's going on.
Okay, Taurus, let's see what we have for you. We've got the King of Pentacles as the overall theme. So as a person, this would be an older person, maybe over 40. Don't get too stuck on the ages or even the sign associations. Think more of the element. I almost said elephant. Is there an elephant in the room? So this is the deal maker. This is a very smooth talker, but he's effective. He might be slow, but he is fair. This is also a very generous person. This is a person who's devoted to philanthropy. This could be a religious person as well, or devoted to religious philanthropy. So here we've got an affectionate person, very hardworking. Maybe this is the way that you feel because this is the earth element card. So, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. This is a person who goes after the good things in life, but they have worked very hard for them. They don't just wear labels to wear labels. They wear labels if they do because of quality. They don't flash the label. You're never really going to see the chick with the obnoxious keychain that's uber expensive. If they do, it isn't because they're flashing it to be flashy. You know what I'm saying? So this is a person who, those are the descriptors, but as an overall energy, this really talks about a person having come into their own. Maybe you've started your own business or you need to, you're working on that. With Mercury retrograde, depending on when the inception was for a business, I would be very cautious. If you're rebooting a business, then it's a little bit more auspicious for that. Okay. But starting something brand new, I would rather advise you to reboot something, or if you are really starting something brand spanking new, just refine your business plan, go over the plan, maybe engage in some mock scenarios. So for your challenges, we have the Eight of Swords upright. So don't see I see nothing here that says that you're going to spiritual and or physical jail or prison, okay? This just looks more like you are trapped in your head, that you're overthinking things, and it could be that you are feeling frustrated by other people projecting what they think you should be doing or how you should be doing it or what you should be saying, thinking, etc. Swords are of the mind. They're of the psychology as well. I know the cups are often specifically, some people will say psychology, but the swords are the mind. I think that cups are more about the emotional condition, and the swords often indicate exactly what their element is: air, thought, thinking, speech, cognition. So you could be really feeling trapped. So I think the challenge is obviously thinking your way out of a situation that could be problematic. Pardon me just a moment. Could be problematic, but I think that you're going to be fine. So often we're just overanalyzing, overthinking things. Maybe we really are worried about something with this card. I don't think you need to worry about that too much. For your finances, we have the Death card in reverse. So with the Death card in reverse, of course, we've got a situation here that would indicate that you need to keep a reserve of money, or that you're going to need a reserve of money to help somebody else not have a situation end. Maybe you're trying to help somebody, you're saving somebody, you're doing something that typically Taurus would do. Taurus is exceedingly generous, very, very generous. They work hard for the money, but they are definitely not miserly. Taurus, ruled by Venus, loves, beautiful things. But what they really love doing is helping other people live beautiful lives, beautify their environments, etc. So the Death card here is talking about a situation that needs attention, because In terms of finances, it could indicate some instability with the home or a potential for losing a home. Don't panic because this is more of a fear. And since this is only for about a week, less than a week, let's just say 5 days, this is a transient energy. And with that Eight of Swords is definitely is giving me that sense of fear. With the King of Pentacles is trying to control the situation while being prudent. So to make sure with the Death card in reverse that you're taking care of your own needs first. Of course, make sure that you are keeping body and soul together before you help another keep body and soul together. Also, if you have any insurance policies that are coming up for review, pad it a little bit, maybe add a little bit of extra insurance. I think Libra is the one that we were kind of worried about with the potential for some kind of an accident. Maybe I don't even want to taint your reading with that because that's not here. But in that case, I would advise maybe you're a Libra cross-watching Taurus, and Libra really is advised to be very cautious right now because there is that element of accidents in the air. But I think that all in all, everything is okay. It's more like trying to keep things from completely going under. But again, transient energy, shorter energy, just keep a reserve. So as it relates to your romance, we have the Seven of Swords, and it gets curious here, doesn't it? So here we have the potential in romance of possibly overthinking a situation because you have so many choices around you. And really, the Seven of Swords talks about there only being one correct choice, obviously. If you're into monogamy, I really don't want to deal with anybody who's into the polys. That's too much. This card could indicate that with the choices and you knowing that only one choice is correct, if this is very specific to romance and you are single, especially, you could really be a commitment phobe or have some issues surrounding commitment. And this card indicates that if you are in denial and are overthinking this or running from commitment or running from thinking about commitment or making the choice, you're going to cause more problems than you already have. This is also the card of somebody that as soon as something goes wrong, they're out of there. They're just out. They just end it. They just pull the plug on, and that doesn't work. That makes you look like a flake. So I do have an admonition here. I doubt that this is anything too much to worry about, Taurus, but since there's always a potential, I think I'll say it, that in romance, you don't want to engage in any activities that could be seen as self-serving and selfish, if you follow my drift, because this is the card of shame and dishonor. Okay, just keep that in mind. So for your solution, we have the Hanged Man. So again, a card that indicates that things may be a bit confusing, but it's almost a card that suggests that what you think you should do the complete opposite. The complete opposite. Now, don't take that as carte blanche and then just go crazy. This is just the card that indicates that you need to see things a little bit differently, while at the same time you feel that you're like really having to put yourself out there or that you're being punished, by the universe. Very similar here to the Seven of Swords. The admonition for the Hanged Man would be to not act selfishly or in a self-serving way. Alternately, this is the card of sacrifice, and that sacrifices must be made in order to achieve the result, the success, etc. So I don't think you tend to be controlling, although some people might argue that point. My mother is a Taurus, but then we have to get into rising signs. I am an astrologer, so I don't really want to go down that road. Taurus, yes, Taurus can be very stubborn. But I also have a son who's a very beautiful Taurus, and he is a Leo rising, and my kids have been raised with astrology, and he really does embody that Leo, but at the core he's always a Taurus. He's just very soft and sweet. He's very much his mother's son. You know, he has his stubborn streak, but he's very yielding under the correct circumstances. So let's get to some oracles. I don't know what the oracles are. I just took a chunk and I split them up, so I don't know what we have. Okay. We have a real man or woman apologizes. That's a Taurus card. Now, I almost wish I hadn't done this way, but this is comical. Choking on food. Do the Heimlich. You can and should save them. Okay, so if there's somebody. I can't. I can't. So if there's somebody in your life that needs a bailout or a hand up, just go ahead and save them. Apparently, the omens portend that this person is worth it. You also have Tylenol. So a farm tech or a pharmacy could be significant. So perhaps you need to follow up on your doctor's visits, or you've been to the pharmacy, or you're going to the pharmacy. You also have the baguette, another Taurus card. So an engagement proposal. Somebody could be proposing to you. You could be proposing to someone. Please don't, not during the Mercury retrograde. Neither should you during the shadow periods. But then again, because I've admitted to being an astrologer, there are all kinds of times and dates that I wouldn't advise. That's if we were going to play astrologer and go into that. We have the break room doors. Beware of gossiping coworkers if you work, or neighbors if you have them. We also have the compass. Align yourself with your goals. So yeah, focus on your work, your hobbies, and your, I don't know why I want to say your rhubarb garden. I used to live on an ancient farmhouse and there was ancient rhubarb. It was great. I also had wild asparagus and some chick neighbor down the other country mile that was constant. She thought they were hers just because she was walking up to them. So you also have the broken wing. Your ex is the mending spirit. So some of you might have an ex that you feel you need to mend something with, or maybe if you're a Taurus rising specifically, you have a broken wing and you feel that the salve is your ex. Be careful with that because, I don't know. It's just if you go into a situation, just don't give false hope. I suppose if it's an ex relationship and it's a retrograde, it's a good time to try to reboot it and to come back from the past and all that. But, Then we've got these menu items don't go together. Irreconcilable differences. Don't you know? There we go. We have the dichotomy. And we have end of a karmic cycle. And I bought you a little gift. The hostess gift is hexed. Do not accept. I think we'll end it right there before this gets wild. Take good care, and I'll be talking to you soon.
Ma fede fu e le tuoi.